Hello and thank you for watching my wine investment strategy short video. Today I'm going to share with you different reasons why we would sell a wine. How do we look at your wine before we make a decision to sell it? So the first thing we look at is obviously the price of the wine. We look at the current market price, we look at how many merchants are selling that wine at the time, what prices there are, and what is the spread between each merchant, because this can help us to determine the supply and demand for the wine at the time. We also look at the quantity that's available in the market, how many cases are being sold at the time. Now luckily we have a data system that we plug all the spreadsheets in every day. I have a research team that are constantly collecting this information, putting it into our system and analysing it, and then I receive all this data that I can look at. But what it does allow me to do is it allows me to look back over a period of time and say, go back 2 years and see how many cases were available in the market at the time for that particular wine and vintage. So that has its benefits, but we also look at the historical price of the wine, so we can look at how it was doing when we entered the investment, how is it performing for us now, what has been the return. And we also look at what decisions and what reasons we went into that wine for at the time. What return was it going to give us? Has it achieved the return? Has it done better or worse than expected? Sometimes if a wine has actually done better than you expect, it could be time to sell that wine early. If you see growth spurt in a wine over a period of a year or 2 years, and then suddenly that growth spurt slows down dramatically in the last few months, then maybe that's a good reason to sell your wine. And also, again, if it hasn't performed for you, it doesn't always mean that you have to make X return that you set out to make. If you don't achieve the returns that you're making, perhaps it's just not worked out for you, that investment. So it's not making the gains that you expected. Sell it, get into something that's more aggressive and which will give you a better return. So these different factors we look at that surround the price of the wine. Now we're also looking at the wine market itself as a whole. We look at the global wine market. We look at political factors or news about the wine market that could affect prices, or that determines whether or not it's a buyer's or a seller's market at the time. If you remember recently, there's been an announcement that Trump was threatening to put taxes onto wine imports coming into the USA from Europe, which was slowing down the wine market dramatically. That's all been discussed and it's now been put off. It may not happen until the end of the year, it may not happen at all, but that was a period where the wine market was slowed down for a while, and that was because of that simple political discussion that Trump had with Macron. So we look at the global wine market, we look at how the global wine market has been performing, how it's performing. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? We also look at different regions of wine: Burgundy, Champagne, Rhone Valley, Bordeaux, Australia, Italian, American. We look at how the different regions are performing. Sometimes a different region is performing better than another region at any particular time. So that could be a reason why you would keep a wine or again sell it. We also look at the different classifications of wine. So you may see that the Centimillion classification is doing better than the 1855 classification at any given time. And so there's that factor to consider. We also look at different classifications of wine, as in the levels of the wine. So perhaps the first growth market in the 1855 classification is doing better than the second growth market at the time, and vice versa. So these are all factors that we look at before we put a wine for sale. If you're aware of our service, you'll know that we recently switched up our service, where we upgraded it, and we offer now a full portfolio management service. So if you're too busy to manage your portfolio and keep your eye on buying and selling your wines, we will do that for you. If we feel it's the right time to make a decision to sell, we'll put a wine for sale and we'll find something that's more aggressive for you and hopefully give you a better return. So that's all part of the service. Whether you have one case or whether you have 1,000 cases with us, it does not matter. Why does not matter to us? Because we feel that if we can do this for you, it's a win-win situation for all. If we can maximize the return on your investment, we know that's going to work for you, then we know it's going to work well for us. So it's a win-win situation for both parties. So again, it's open to anybody that has an investment wines with us. So those are all the factors we look at. Now, another thing I've noticed is sometimes in the past, it's very easy to get emotionally attached to your wine investment. Why do you get emotionally attached? Well, sometimes a wine vintage, a year, may have a lot of meaning to you. It could be that you drank that particular wine several times and it really appeals to you, and you drank it, and the time you drank it has meaning to you, so you don't want to sell that wine in your portfolio. So try not to get emotionally attached to your wine portfolio. It is very easy to do, because when you buy a fine wine, it is something that is really, it has meaning in your life. It's not like buying a stock certificate or owning a piece of paper. It really is something that you can touch and feel, and it has got a story, it's got a history. The chateau themselves, maybe you visited that chateau and you have a really a close relationship where you feel that is a great chateau and you don't want to sell that wine. It shouldn't be the decision. Shouldn't be giving you to the deciding factor on whether you should sell a wine or not. You should always look at your investment from the analytical side of how to make the decision. So try not to get too emotionally attached to your wine portfolio. If you feel you're emotionally attached to some wines in your portfolio, then put them to side, allocate them as wines that you're going to drink in the future, but try not to overlap them with the wines that you're making a return on. And I know this happens because my clients that just really see this as an investment, they do very well out of it. So some important factors to consider there. Now, based on our portfolio management service that we switched up our service to recently, what I noticed is that when one case of wine goes into the market for sale, it's actually when a larger parcel goes for sale, it seems to be that there is more interest generated from a larger parcel than selling one case of a particular wine. So what we're going to do from now on, moving forward, is any wines that we decide we're going to sell for our clients, and we'll actually put you together, parcel it up, and put the whole parcel on the market for sale. It doesn't mean that we will only sell that parcel as a whole. It just means that it will be put into the market as a large parcel at any given time. And the beauty is the beauty about what we've been doing in the last 15, 18 years is that I've always been making recommendations, and when I make a recommendation, I go out into the market and I find a particular wine and I negotiate on a large parcel of that, and then I make that recommendation to my clients. So it's great because a lot of my clients have already got into the same wine at the same time, so it means we can get you out at the same time and create more of an opportunity for you, hopefully maximizing on your returns on investment. So just some insight and information on that. Thought I'd share with you. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is Invest Into Wine, do subscribe to it if you want to receive these tips as soon as they come out. Get in touch with me if you have any questions at all. If you're an investor or one of our clients, and you don't wish to participate in this strategy, just drop me an email back. It's no problem. But yeah, feel free to contact us anytime. Thank you for your time, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.